when you come in, you've got this experience from last year of not knowing who you're facing. How do you treat those few days of waiting for that and working on yourselves as you get ready for Saturday?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's a little more challenging when you have two teams that you have to look at, but it's a good position to be in. And then it's just, trying to get players refocused after the celebration Saturday afternoon, bus ride home, and then, the selection committee announcement on Sunday. And, still the excitement in the locker room for all the other teams that are, moving forward. So it's an opportunity to, spend some time here in the early part of the week to focus on what we can do and how we can continue to get better and maybe get a little bit more healthy.
Can you kind of, obviously you've had a zillion good teams here, but can you kind of compare this team to the last couple of years in terms of what it does well, what maybe a different one did well, what the personality is compared to other recent teams?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't spend a lot of time looking at the rearview mirror, because if I'm looking at it too often, eventually I'm gonna crash. But, if I were to answer your question, they score a lot of goals, we defend well, we've had a good power play, and they've been consistent. So if you're gonna win hockey games, most coaches would like to have that in their toolbox. That doesn't necessarily give you an advantage or disadvantage in the next game. You still have to do what you're capable of doing and then handle, each situation and the magnitude of the game. And so as you take the next step, the importance of the game and the meaning of the game become more important, and how do you handle that? And so that you find out for us Saturday afternoon, for the two teams that are playing Thursday, you'll find out about that, in the game Thursday night. So sometimes you get so excited that you go out and your legs are heavy and you don't play real well. And so it's managing those emotions and doing what we've done all year. Like I said, we've been pretty consistent from the start of the season, through Saturday afternoon's game, and we'll continue to work on some of the things that will make us better in the next couple of days, and then mentally get ourselves ready to play Saturday afternoon.
With KK breaking the points record for most points by a defender, she's obviously this unique talent. How does she translate so well to how the game has changed for defenders in the last handful of years?
Well, she fits the new generation of defensemen, whether you're playing in the NHL or other leagues, male, female. I mean, offense is tough to come by. People try to figure out how to score goals, and obviously over the last chunk of time, we've incorporated our defensemen, and they've joined the rush, they've led the rush. If you have gifted players like KK is, she can help you from an offensive standpoint in generating opportunities. So she fits in really well with the new generation of hockey that teams play.
I think last week talked about that light at the end of the tunnel. It comes out fast this time of year, doesn't it?
Now.
I wonder how you've experienced players handling that, especially the older players, the ones that are maybe in their last season here. When that hits them, how they react to it, and how you would like them to react to it in terms of not it having to be something they're worried about, but something that maybe they embrace.
Yeah, you have to embrace it. I think. I mean, because we're down to 11 teams. You happen to be one of those 11. So you get up Tuesday morning. I mean, you should be excited. And so what can I do today to get the most out of the day and get myself ready to play Saturday afternoon, knowing that you get an opportunity to play in front of your fans one more time. It's going to be sold out. There's going to be a lot of energy, and so all those things put together, stay in the moment. Don't worry about this may be our last game, or next weekend may be our last games. It's just like you get opportunities in life, and they're certainly prepared for this opportunity, and it's going out and making the most of that opportunity. So focusing on what we need to do to win a hockey game Saturday and make the most of it. As I've always said, Monday will come next week.
Mark, back to KK, you know, she is a unique talent. Do you sit back and get a chance to enjoy the talents she has on the ice?
I think as coaches, you know, we marvel at some of the things that we've seen over time here, and continue to, whether it's in a practice or in a game, she'll open your eyes a lot of different times and do things that, you know, you just know other players aren't capable of doing. I give her a lot of credit because sometimes when people have success, they might back off on the gas pedal and become complacent in what they're doing and having success in their moment. But you know, you watch us practice yesterday or last week or a month ago or at the beginning of the season. I mean, she's always working at her game. So she'll come out a little bit early. We have a skill session that she takes part in. She'll stay after practice. And so if I'm playing on her team and I want to figure out, like, why is she so good? Like, why is she able to do the things she's able to do? And then, you know, I watch her for 5 months or 6 months if I'm a freshman on our team this year, and I go like, oh, that's the reason why she's been able to do some of the things and get some of the opportunities that she's gotten, because she really works at her craft. And I give her a lot of credit because she's a true professional in the sense of being a professional hockey player in college. You know, she goes about her business and she stays in tune with it, and she does it every day. And so, and we're the ones that get the benefit, because all of a sudden you'll get in a game like Saturday and she'll do something, it's like, whoa, that's amazing. So it's fun to watch.
You know, Layla also is a unique talent, one of only 10 players in the program's history to score 3 goals in a season. She's still just scratching the surface of her talent too, isn't she?
I think so. I've said many times, I mean, you know, her ceiling is whatever it wants to be. And, you know, what's going to drive her, and you know, what drives KK is to continue to improve and continue to push and, you know, become the best version of who she's able to become, irrelevant of what's around her. She's going to become the best player she's capable of becoming, and you know, she's on the road to becoming a real good player. Not saying she's not a good player now, because she is, and you know, Layla's been able to watch that. So it's like, now I've got these tools that I have, and what can I do? And then I see over KK, oh geez, look at her go. It's like, so she's adapted a lot of that, and as she continues to play and continues to get opportunities with us and with the national team, boy, it'll be fun to watch.
We've talked before about, you know, a team needing to become a team and come together and those kind of things. Do you remember a point this season where you thought to yourself, okay, this group is done, and it's because of X, Y, or Z?
I think maybe with some of the other teams we've had, there have been points in the year, whether it's the middle or maybe really late in the season, where you know, people figured out that, you know, if we're going to have success or get a chance to take a run at a championship, you know, we need to be connected a little bit tighter. I think with this group, I don't think that I can think of there's a particular point, because as I've mentioned before, you know, as coaches, we look for consistency from day to day and weekend from weekend, and you know, honestly, they've been pretty consistent. I think where it started probably was, you know, when most of them came back last summer, maybe didn't enjoy what happened in our last game last year, and says, hey, you know, if we're going to get better, we're going to, you know, have a good season, we have to work at things. And a lot of people don't see that, and they start to work at that. From the coaches, obviously, we can't work with them in the summer, but you know, our first look at them is when we start the season, and it sort of paints a picture of like, okay, what does this group want to do? And you know, they came into camp in really good shape. Attitudes were good. Leadership's been strong, and so maybe in some seasons I can look back on some teams and say, okay, yeah, that's where we turned the corner. With this team, they've been pretty consistent, so I give them a lot of credit for doing that, because it's hard to do.
You haven't spent a ton of time trailing over the course of the season, but you've done that a handful of times in the past month. What have you learned about your team in those early deficits that you've had over the last few weeks?
It's been good. I mean, there aren't many games that you know, we blinked in and we've got to the end and thought about, oh, what if we would have done this or should have done that? Maybe the outcome would have been a little different. The only one game I can reflect on is the game up in Minneapolis. second game up there where, you know, we were down 3-0, and it's like, okay, you know, this is maybe the time. I mean, they're playing well. They weren't happy because we beat them yesterday. So this might be the afternoon that, you know, one's gonna get away from us, but, you know, we score a power play goal and then we get another one, and all of a sudden there's excitement, and, you know, that's the great thing about the game, you just never know, and found a way to do something that day, so, you know, hopefully we don't get in that situation again. I mean, there's a bunch of games against Duluth, we always seem to get down 1-0, but, you know, the game's 60 minutes, and if you're doing things the right way and you're consistent in that 60 minutes, a lot of times you're gonna get chances. And there'll be games where the other goaltender might be better than what he brought that day, and you end up losing. And so the big thing is when you're done with those games, whether you've won them or lost them, it's like, how do we get better? And that's the process that I look at. Because when it's over, it's over. And you've got video, and then you've got practices the next day to try to make improvements. And that's the message I try to harp with my coaching staff and the players, because it's a long season. We've been together since early September, and the whole key is to try to get to the end, which we're at right now. And are we playing really good hockey compared to what we look like maybe in September, October, November? And so, you know, the competition gets stiffer and stiffer, and, you know, that's why, you know, for me, if you can play 2 games in a playoff tournament like we just got through, that's gonna help us in our next game. And then if we win that one, it'll help us in our next game.
Mark, you mentioned LeBron's going to be sold out on Saturday again. What do you think that environment's like for an opponent who has never experienced that, and how does that benefit your team?
Well, I think, you know, from our standpoint, I mean, you know, you just have the comfort of your locker room and then going on the ice and doing things that we've been doing for, you know, the whole season, and for our upperclassmen for, you know, a number of years. And so hopefully, you know, everybody's gonna have butterflies, but hopefully that setting, you know, relaxes you. You know, for BU, it might be a different look. You know, if we were to play them, if it's Clarkson, you know, they've won national championships, they're well coached, they've had a lot of different experiences, their players have had different experience. It might be a little bit different, but it's fun to play in that atmosphere, to have the energy, and it just makes for a real exciting game.
Mark, I wanted to ask you one more question about Layla. You've asked her to do some things, some different things this year. She's contributed up front, in the back, what have you. Actually, she might be pretty good at strap the goalie pads on her too because of her length. She's been
Still have one more year with her, so you never know what's gonna happen next year.
Can you quantify what she's meant to this year's team?
She's meant a lot. I think, you know, we've seen a bunch of stuff on the ice and a lot of areas of growth, but, you know, she's using her platform to really impact things away from LeBron. And, you know, she's really embraced that. And so, you know, a lot of people don't know that she might show up on a Sunday morning out at Hartmeyer or over at MIA. And then you're looking at a girls' team that some of the families she met that their daughter was playing in one of those events, and go out there to the Children's Hospital, do all these things. And you know, that's what, you know, I'm really proud of, you know, because we've seen, like I say, a lot of growth in her play on the ice, and I think we'll continue because she works hard at it. But you know, everybody's given a certain platform. Some platforms are a little bit more in depth, and you have a bigger impact. And certainly, you know, she's got a big platform, and so she embraces that. She does really well in it. And that's hard to do, because, I mean, you have to go to school too, and then you're trying to do things with your hockey career, and hopefully play on the national team. She'll get a chance to play in the World Championships, and then the next step, you know, for next year is, you know, can she make that, you know, Olympic team and fulfill one of those dreams, and again, take this platform that she's developed and done a really good job at it, and really expand it farther than it is right now. So there's a lot of areas that she's got a big heart, and she's willing to show that to people.
Mark, you don't find out until Thursday night where you're gonna play, but what's the real short course scouting report on each of those teams?
Well, I think, you know, for BU and their new coaching staff, you know, a lot of excitement. I mean, when Brian had the team at BU, I mean, we were playing in national tournaments and championship games, and with their new staff, they're excited. And, They've got a great season. We've got them on our schedule coming in the next couple of years, so excited to get an opportunity to play for them. And so, again, you know, can you handle the big stage? And, you know, now they enter into, you know, the NCAA tournament for a lot of their players and their coaching staff. It's going to be a wonderful experience. And Clarkson, you know, their staff has been down this path before. They understand the process and what it takes to get to Minneapolis. So they've got some more experience. They've won 3 national championships, so they've experienced that also. So they probably come in with a little bit different mindset, but I think equally, as with our team, everybody's excited. You know, you see your team name come up there yet Sunday morning. Everybody gets excited because you play the whole season to try to get yourself in this position, and there's only 11 teams left, and you happen to be one of them. So, as far as, you know, the scouting reports, you know, people aren't going to really change much of their identity right now. It's going to come down to that. You know, you play 60 minutes the way you're capable of playing at the highest level, and then, you know, the chips are going to fall where the chips are going to fall.
You obviously had a tough decision last year when you entered postseason play, handing the reins over to Ava, but she's been stellar all year. Clearly gives the team in front of her a ton of confidence. What has the impact been on the rest of the team with her play throughout the year? And did you expect that she could excel just as much as she has this year?
Well, I think, you know, she'll lean on what she learned last year. So what experience do I have in this particular game, in this particular time of the season we're in? So, you know, you reflect back on what she did last year. And, you know, she played with a lot of confidence and gave us a chance to win all our games. Unfortunately, we got to the last one, and, you know, we didn't help her out. We didn't score enough goals. We didn't score any goals to have a chance to win that game. And so, in her mindset, it's like, I'm experienced now. What have I learned from my experiences? And reflect back on, you know, my preparation last year when I got ready for this run she put us in last season. So, yeah, last year was totally different for her because everything was new. And so, but the team, you know, she's been consistent just like the team's been consistent. So in games, and there's, you know, there's a handful, if not more than that, games that, you know, we weren't playing up to our standards, and, you know, she had to give us an opportunity to maybe win that game or get it into overtime or give it to a shootout. And, 25, 30, 35 saves some night that she had to make. So again, this time of the year, it's like, you know, they have habits, they have certain routines, and it's like, you know, stay in that lane and play the way you played all season. And if she's able to do that, then we have a chance to win.
Anything else for Coach Johnson?
Thank you.
Thank you.